In Affinity Photo, in this tutorial, how to split a layer, the current selected layer, into 3 layers based on the channels. So you've got a red, a green and a blue channel for any image if you're using an RGB document in Affinity Photo. First thing to do, make certain you've selected a layer, and then in the layers panel, and then go to the channels panel, and you can find these in the window menu. And then you can simply go over here and you can see pixel red. You can then right click and create grayscale layer. And that will create a grayscale layer based on the red channel. Only the red channel, not the blue or green, but this one, and select that. And now you can see that's added over here in the layers, just above the current layer. So I want to use this one again. So always make certain you just go back to it. And then with that, you can then go back here and pixel green, just hover there and right click and create grayscale layer again. And you can see now you've got the grayscale information from the green channel. And you can do exactly the same with the blue. So again, make certain you select this one, the first layer here, and then go down to pixel blue and right click and again create grayscale layer. And now you've got all of those layers, red, the green and the blue. So let's just go up here and you can double click, and I'm going to type in red and double click green. Makes it easier just to rename it, and you could put just R or something, of course, and then go to blue there. So you've got the red, green and blue. Now what you can do is you can mix these. So you can create some interesting combinations of those using the blending modes. So just go up here. You don't need to use this anymore unless you want to. There's a lot of functionality, and I've done a previous video to this, showing a lot of the functionality where you can use this for selections, masks and much, much more. So this channel panel, super useful and can be found in the window and channels. Well, once you've got this, you can also go over here and you can select these, and I'm selecting all 3 of them. You can select them individually as well, of course. And you can just go here to blend modes and you can go darken. And you can see as you do that, it will change, go through here and maybe like difference. And you can get something like that. Now, of course, you can manipulate these channels individually now. Now, I'm not going to do that here, but you could apply some effects, maybe some blurs to that particular channel, or maybe use some twirl effects or adjustments. And I'm just going to use adjustments first. So now with this one selected, I can go over here to layer and new adjustment layer, and I can use a number of these options here. I'm just going to go with recolor. So recolor, and you can see then you get this. You've recolored the red channel. Well, actually, because it's the one below, that's what it's using. But you can always, with all layers, you can move them around. So you don't have to keep them in the position that you've just created. So if you want, simply just drag this down onto the red. So just go down there, and now it's part of the red there. And you can see now if I expand this out, I got that. Now if I go back to the red, you see it's different. If I go to the recolor adjustment, it's just set to normal. And you can of course change that as well if you want to. You can run through those, create interesting color combinations. But what you can also do is you can hold down the Alt Option key and drag, and that will duplicate this. Also, you can right click and you've got duplicate. There's another way of doing it. So you can do that and just drag. And as you do that, you see it's duplicated. And then you can just drag this down onto this layer, the green one. And now it's in the green. So if I expand that out, you can now see that. And of course, now I can just do exactly the same if I want to the blue. So just drag this down, just drag it onto the blue like that. Very simple. You can see it highlighted at that point and release. And now you can see all of them have got recolor adjustment added to them. Now, at the moment, they're all identical. They're all what I've set by default. So just double click and you can see this. And the first one here, the red, is actually got it set to red. And of course I can vary it. I can just go through this. You can see as I do that, it will change the color result. Well, what I can do, I can also go to this one. And now this one is the one that's active and the settings here. So this is independent of this one. So now I can just change that maybe to green. So you can see then I can just change it, maybe put it to green. I can have it any color. So you can see you can manipulate colors in countless ways just by changing the hue here. And of course you could also change saturation and also lightness as well. And you can see as you do that, you create different gradient effects. Just all of them are still live. You've still got, of course, the original gradient right at the bottom. Now, what you can also do is, I'm just going to go down to this one and select again, just select here. Don't select the name, you need to select this part. So each time, the one that's active, you can see as I do that, you can see it just moves there, back to the red, click that one, and now the blue one is obviously still red at the moment, but I'm just going to move it all the way over to the blue. And again, I can manipulate the others there, you can see, and that will manipulate the blue channel that I've created, the blue layer I've created, I should say. Okay, what I can now do is close this. I don't want that anymore. I could go back to it at any point. It's still live and you can manipulate it further. But also what you can do is you can go up here, you can see I've got difference, but I don't have to keep it difference. I could go with hue or exclusion, subtract, vivid light, and so on. You can see you can run through these to create all kinds of different gradients. But let's just keep it for now as difference. And I can go here, and again, I can do exactly the same. I can run through difference and create different color effects just by changing that. I can also, of course, change the opacity as well. So I always go back here, and I can change the opacity. So if you want to lessen the effect of the red, then you can just manipulate the opacity as well. I'm just going to keep it 100%, which is great. But also, and let's just move the channels out of the way. I could do exactly here, what I've got here. I could blend them all together, combine them all, and then just do exactly the same thing with this set, with the red, etc. And you see it says red, red. So if I go to the green one, let's just go to the green one, see green, red. So you can see I could manipulate these here as well, apply effects to them. But also what I can do, I've got this, I can apply live filter layers as well. I could apply masks to all these layers, and they're all based on this pixel layer here. So let's just go to the red one and layer, and I'm going to use the same effect, but you could of course vary it. So new live filter layer, now go down to distort, and I'm going to go with 12. And 12, I'm just going to change the angle, radius, and you can see the effect there. You can just, and also you can go preserve alpha if you want, up to you. But you just try tweak it, change things, move it around, reposition it, and so on. And you've got blending modes for that as well. But let's just close that now. Well, once I've done that, I can do exactly the same as I did before. I can hold down the Alt or Option key, or again use right click and duplicate, just as easy. But I can now just drag that down and that will duplicate that. So just drag it onto the green. You see it highlighted again. That's the key thing, make certain it highlights. And now that's got a 12. And I can do exactly the same for the blue, of course. I can just drag this down again onto the blue, and now the 12 on there. You can see I've got 3 12s now. And I can click on that one, double click, and I can bring this up, and I can manipulate this again. I can just change it. But I can also go here to this green one, just below the green, just select here. And now I can change that one, and I can move it, reposition it like that. So you can modify the position of the origin point for the green. And also now I can go to this 12, let's just go, and then you can see now I can change that, and also I can move that one, say, over here. So a whole variety of different options about moving these positions. And obviously now I've done all the changes there. And now I can again just go backwards and forwards. And at any point I can always just remove the red one. Or I can go there and remove here. Just simply click down here. You can see all of these. That's the visibility. Just click and it will no longer be visible. You can remove it. But now you can see I've got this design. And of course, what I can do, I can actually select this red, green, and the blue. So hold down the shift. So they're all selected, and maybe even the bottom one. So all selected there. I can then merge the entire selection into a single layer. So let's just go up here, layer, and then merge selected. So merge selected, and you get that. And it all becomes one single layer. And of course, what you could do, if you wanted to, you could take this design and do exactly the same. So go over here, pixel, again with this, channels here, you can right click and create a grayscale layer. Exact same, you can see now the grayscale there. Likewise, select this one, pixel green, create grayscale layer again, and then click this one again. Make sense you always click the bottom one, the one that's the source layer. You need to have that selected, and then go pixel blue and create grayscale layer. So you've got the layers, and you can see now if I select individually, you can see the results of those. There's that. And again, exactly the same. Select all of those if you want, and then you can use blend mode of difference, and you can see you create something like that. Or you could use one of the other ones, pin light, linear light, and so on. Create some, well, that one's soft light, to create some really weird combinations. And exactly the same as before, you can then also add layer and new adjustment layer, and just go down here again, HSL, use something else, recolor. So recolor, and you've got the recolor again, and you can see then exact same as before. Just simply select it, hold down the Alt option key, drag it onto blue, and so on. You could just do exactly the same settings. I'm just going to undo that. But you can see now all kinds of different color combinations can be created very quickly from a single layer. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions or thoughts, please let me know in the comments below. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Bye.